Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Bu Hing Ling and I'm 10 years old and you can call me Sarah. So I will continue to read the book Who is Barack Obama? Now it's chapter 10. It's gonna end this book. Chapter 10 Bigger Dreams. That November, Barack Obama won the Senate election in Illinois. In more than 125 years, only two other African Americans had been elected to the U.S. Senate. Now, at 43, he was also among the youngest senators ever. He took office on January 4th, 2005. And with Michelle and both his daughter at his side. But his family was not going to move from Chicago to Washington. Michelle still worked for the University of Chicago hospitals. The girls, now 6 and 3, were busy with school and friends. Barack once again would live apart from his family for part of each week. In the Senate, the newer senators have farther less power than long-time senators. Yet Barack quickly began working on the issues that had been important to him for so long: for housing, affordable health care, and better schools. Other Democrats saw him as a young man with a great future ahead of him. Still, many people were surprised when only 2 years later, in February 2007, Barack Obama announced he was going to run for president. The next election would be on November 2008. Yes, Barack was smart and hardworking. Yes, he was a wonderful speaker. Yes, he had been an early critic of Iraq War. And yes, more and more Americans now agree with him that the war was a mistake. But he was 45. He had only been serving in the U.S. Senate for 2 years. A lot of people had no idea who he was. They thought his name was Barack Yoma and Barack Alabama. Those who had heard him would wonder if he was ready to lead the entire country. And of course, there was the issues of race. The United States had never had a black president. Was there any chance that Barack Obama could win? Black presidential candidates. Barack Obama was not the first African American to run for president. In 1972, a U.S. congresswoman from New York tried to become the Democratic candidate for president. Her name was Shirley Chisholm. In 1984 and again in 1988, Jesse Jackson, a famous civil rights leader and also a Democrat, tried to win the nomination, but before 2008, neither major party had ever chosen an African American as its candidate. A politician from Illinois, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, is one of the most famous names in American history. But this certainly wasn't true when he ran for president in 1860. He had served only 2 years term as a U.S. congressman. Like Barack Obama, Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer from Illinois, and Like Obama, Lincoln became famous as a powerful speaker. Lincoln took office right before the start of the Civil War. It was Abraham Lincoln who ended slavery in the United States. It was the beginning of a new chapter in the history of black people in America. In 2007, no one was sure who would be Republican candidate for president. George Bush could not run again because he had already served 2 full terms. As for the Democrats, many thought Hillary Clinton would be their party's candidate. The wife of former President Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, was a senator from New York. She was famous. Everyone knew who she was. She was also very smart and hardworking. Barack and Hillary agreed on most issues, but she had voted with President Bush to go to war in Iraq. The war was unpopular and kept dragging on year after year. The Hillary Clinton was a woman, and was the country ready for a female president? In the first 6 months of 2008, the two met in debates that were broadcast on TV. They went from state to state, giving speeches to get voters behind them. State contests known as primaries and caucuses began in January 2008. By early June, it was clear that Barack Obama had the support of more Democrats than Hillary Clinton. Barack accepted the nomination at the Democratic convention in Denver. He spoke outdoors from Mile High Stadium to 80,000 people. He said, "Government cannot solve all our problems, but what it should do is that which we cannot do for ourselves: protect us from harm and provide every child with a decent education, keep our water clean and our trees safe, invest in new schools and new roads and new science and technology." It was August 28, 2008. The date is important. Why? Exactly 45 years earlier, Martin Luther King Jr. had given his famous "I Have a Dream" speech at a huge civil rights rally in Washington, D.C. Now the general elections began. Barack's Republican opponent was John McCain, a longtime senator for Arizona. He was a Vietnam War hero who spent 5 years in the prisoner of war camp. At 72, McCain was one of the oldest men to run for president. As of the war in Iraq, he still believed that there could be a victory. He was against many of the government programs that Barack wanted to fund. The two men and their running mates crossed the country in several months. Some days Barack will speak at 3 or 4 rallies, each in a different state. He did take a couple of days off, however, to visit Tud. She was very sick and Barack needed to see his grandmother one last time. He was not going to make the same mistake he had made with his mother. Over the summer, the sky-high prices from gasoline were on every voter's mind. Suddenly, that fall, the economy tanked. People could not afford to pay their mortgage. They were losing their homes. Banks no longer had money to give loans, so business closed. That meant people were out of job. The Republican had been in power since 2001. In fact, that was Barack Obama's motto, "Change we can believe in." On November 4th, 2008, 125 million Americans went to the polls. Sadly, Barack's mother was not one of them. She died only 2 days before the election. The news was in before midnight. Barack was sorry about that because my phone is wrong. Now let's read. Barack would be the next president of the United States. When Michelle, the girls greeted the crowd of 125,000 people in Chicago Park, he exclaimed, "What a sense! What a crowd! Wow!" Okay, now thank you for listening and bye.